Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today I wanted to talk about artist burnout. Now, artist burnout is, to me, different from artist block. Now, I am by no means a doctor, psychologist, therapist, teacher, scientist. I'm none of these things. I'm just an artist. I love to draw, and I do it every day. In fact, I have done a drawing challenge every single day for almost an entire year. So I will link some videos about that. I will link the video I did on artist block if you are curious of ways to combat and understand and recognize that. Now, for me, artist burnout it's more than just not having ideas or knowing what to draw. For me, artist burnout is sitting down, looking at a page and not wanting to draw. So that is kind of my definition of it. But there are many other factors that can contribute to this, and I'm just going to talk about some ways that I think I combat it, and maybe tips and tricks for you if you are suffering yourself from artist block, because I think this is very important, and from time to time we all suffer from it. This isn't something that doesn't affect, everybody. So when I am creating and drawing and doing something, if I am overwhelmed, there's too many stages, too many steps, it looks too time intensive, I get artist burnout. If that is repeated over and over and over again, it's just something that starts to affect my mental state and my mood. It's the same with being underwhelmed. If I am incredibly bored, I am going day after day after day, it's going to wear me down. And that sort of wear down absolutely tanks my creation and my process, and I get burnt out and I want to stop. And I don't want to stop. Art makes me very, very happy. So sometimes decision fatigue, whether it's once or whether it's repetitive, can be very, very difficult and cause burnout. My suggestion for this would be to restrict your mediums, restrict your colors. That can help. I'm just doing blues and greens. Just start paring down and narrowing down and figure out sort of what's causing the fatigue. Maybe you have too many ideas and you need to find something more niche. The other thing, and this is sort of a huge one that can cause artist block, is stress. And this is something you don't want in your life anyways. But there are some ways to manage your stress, and meditation can be really beneficial. There are meditations on YouTube. You can go to your local library and get books about meditation. Practice deep breathing every day. You want to be physically healthy. You want to exercise. You want to eat right, get plenty of sleep. You want to manage the amount of time you're on social media. Social media can be as great as it can be harmful. So understand when that has crossed over to the side that isn't helping you. Connect with other people, reach out. There's stresses can be very, very, very difficult, and there's so many of them, but know when you need to unplug and step away from certain things that just aren't currently helping you. Now, boundaries. Learning to say no. This can be very, very difficult for some people. As I get older, I get way better at it, and that just comes with practice. But know when, if you are doing something for clients, know which type of clients drain you and aren't helping you in such a way that it's adding to your stress and it's just maybe not worth the money at this point. So know about yourself and learn to start saying no. Find the projects that are meaningful to you, the projects, if you can, I know that's from a place of privilege, and sometimes saying no to money just isn't an option. But maybe for your hobby, for yourself, you find and cultivate something that you are passionate about, and draw something. If it isn't even an art challenge, you create and make one. I did that with Protest Art April because I had some things I wanted to say. So it's okay to make your own stuff and go your own direction, even if you're going by yourself. It has to be meaningful to you or make you happy. And that's the point of art, really, you know? So understand your boundaries, understand your restrictions. When your hobby becomes your job, what happens to your hobby? Sometimes you need to cultivate another creative hobby or something completely unrelated. And this is a topic for a video all on itself, because it can be very, very difficult for artists to understand that they've lost their hobby when it becomes their job, and try and find ways to rekindle that. And, you know, some of those are drawing the things that are important to you in your free time. If you have free time, and if you aren't burned out or suffering from artist block, it's very, very difficult. So create strict and realistic deadlines for yourself. Be really, really honest with yourself. Know how much time you have. Know how fast you work. Understand yourself and be kind to yourself about it. Beating yourself up isn't going to improve or change anything. So it's just time we don't do that anymore. It's not necessary. You know yourself, know your limits, and know when something negative can actually be a positive. So I want to tell you something very specific. I am incredibly stubborn. As an individual, I have always been incredibly stubborn. Mom, I hear you nodding from the other side of your computer. Even as a child, I was incredibly stubborn. To my advantage, that is how I am able to do a drawing challenge month after month after month for an entire year, because I don't want to stop. I'm incredibly stubborn. There are ways to use some of the things that are not seen as good qualities or strengths to become a strength. And that is what I've done with that one. It's how I'm able to continually do a no-buy. I'm just very stubborn, and I don't want to stop. So take your limits and turn those into strengths for yourself. And go back to your comfort zone. Sometimes that helps if you are feeling burnt out. Where do you feel comfort in drawing? You know, what are things that you absolutely love? It could be a subject matter, it could be a medium, it could be something of that. Whatever inspires you, that inspires you enough, it can get you up over that hump of artist block and get you to keep going and get you to keep creating and keep being inspired and wanting to create. Now, fear is another huge factor that can cause artist burnout. You just sit there and it may not even be something that you recognize within yourself. It's really hard to admit when drawing is scary, and making it public can be scary. You don't have to. I don't always recommend it. It's not for everybody, but it can be very, very scary. You feel very exposed. And there are ways to combat your fears, and you sort of breathe through it. And sometimes you just kind of got to face it. And if you imagine the worst and, you know, sort of look at the evidence that's contradictory to that, visualize your happy place, talk it out, you can kind of get through it. So if sitting down at a page is just overwhelming and it's starting to freak you out, what's the worst that could happen? You don't have to show it to anybody. Okay? That's not a thing you have to do. No one's saying you have to publicly show people your art. You can have a whole sketchbook that is just for you, and maybe you never turn back to a previous page and look and see what you've drawn. You just keep moving forward. The other one is motivation. So there's two types of motivation that can affect, you know, artist burnout, and one of those is external. If you are waiting for other people to motivate you, to inspire you to like the things that you have posted online, to tell you to keep going, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to make it twice as hard. External motivation isn't consistent. It's not within you. You need to cultivate internal motivation. You want to build that within yourself by having short-term and long-term goals. Have them on your computer. Have them, and they need to be attainable. Whatever your steps are, break them down into smaller steps. It needs to be something that doesn't overwhelm you and doesn't discourage you, and it's realistic. It's very, very important. So with all these different factors, all these together can create burnout. I get burnout in a combination of being physically exhausted paired with stress and being bored. Those three things together, absolutely, I just cannot keep working. And I have to just, for me, get out of my head, because my head's telling me, no, I don't wanna. And I have to put music on or a really funny movie and just listen to that, or an audiobook. That is absolutely how I overcome burnout. And it can come in waves. It can be an entire month where I feel kind of or it can just be a couple one-off days. And I just acknowledge that within myself, and those are the days that I'm not online. I don't have to be online every time. I don't have to check Twitter every day. So I hope these sort of ideas and tips help you. I will link everything below. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.